Hello and welcome to the third video of Warcraft Alliance and Horde, WAH. This time we are looking at the Burning Legion. Now this is a race that has been built by the developer completely by himself, and it is very cool. So, what do we have as the Burning Legion, this unique race? We have a teleporter instead of a town hall. We have, instead of regular hero buildings, we have a demon altar, although it comes up as arena in the tooltips for building. And we have a Fel Orc barracks, because in Outland, where the Burning Legion seem to be enjoying their stay, there is lots of corrupted orcs and blood elves. So this is where you can get those type of units. You also have a dark portal, well, this is a higher dark portal in this case. I've got a few of these crystal towers lying around as opposed to defensive structures. These actually give an aura that debuffs the enemy and buffs your friendly units. These generators here, these are run to burrows and farms. Instead of a blacksmith or a goblin lab and such, you get a Fel Forge, and then you have a Fel Workshop instead of alternate storms and griffin aviaries and the likes. So you start off able to build a Fel Orc barracks and a generator and your hero thing. You can't actually get the dark portal right away. It's very strange. It doesn't require any tech, however the initial building of it has a cooldown, so you actually have to wait for an in-game timer to expire before you are allowed to build the dark portal. And then once you have it, you can upgrade it to a higher dark portal. Getting the higher dark portal allows you access to Fel Beasts. And I think getting a Fel Workshop, a Fel Forge after the barracks allows you to gain access to the two final units in that particular area as well. So this is what a Burning Legion base kind of looks like. What do the units look like? Well, let us find out as we head south. Okay, let's zoom in and have a look-see. Fel Orcs. We have Chaos Grunt. These dual-wielding little bastards are quite durable because they have tank unit passive, as explained in previous videos. They have Bloodlust Strike. It costs 5% HP to use. The damage is 5% of its HP, and they recover 5% of the unit itself. So I think this works as kind of like a life drain. So if you're attacking higher health units than a Chaos Grunt, you are probably going to be gaining more life back than you spend on the ability, and vice versa if you're attacking low type units. They have Heroism Strike. This gives a 50% chance to knock down a non-hero target as well as doing 50 damage, and it adds 1 level of Honour. I will cover Honour in a short while. Fel Orc Warlock. Now these guys don't have a lot of health, and they do okay damage, and they have a life drain. Does 1% HP of the target per second and heals 1% of HP friendly unit around per second stuff. Anyway, these Warlocks, as well as dealing damage, are actually the healers of the Burning Legion. They also, in a way to help with the healing, have Health Stones. You can cast a Health Stone on a friendly unit and they get 5 life regeneration, and after 30 seconds the Health Stone is used and they gain 350 HP. They also have Sacrificial Pact, which is greyed out at the moment, which is a 20% chance to gain 50 mana whenever you use an attack or spell. Also greyed out is Summon Imp. You can summon an imp to fight. Each Fel Orc Warlock can only summon 1 imp at once. Why is it greyed out? That would be because I don't have the upgrades. Now, in the Fel Forge you get Grimoires. These are not like traditional upgrades to units. They are a one-shot use and do a type of upgrade permanently. You get the Grimoire of Sacrifice, the Grimoire of Service, and the Grimoire of Supremacy. Supremacy is the most simple, as it adds a 15% HP life drain to your demons. Grimoire of Service allows you to get imps at various units and buildings. And Grimoire of Sacrifice is that 50 mana thing that I was just explaining on the Warlock there. Each attack has a 20% chance to gain mana. For purposes of this video and showing all of the units, I shall be picking imps. And there we go. So if we now go over to our Warlock, just like a true Warlock, he can summon an imp. And here he is. And they do quite a decent amount of damage. So imps are cool, and they're on a timed duration. And it takes a while before the cooldown resets and you can get another one, but this really ups the damage just based on one unit because it can pretty much always have an imp at its side. So that's very cool. Next unit,
destiny awaits.
Shadowblade, corrupted blood elf with horns and wings and weird shit. It is a rogue. It does quite okay-ish damage. It has a blink. It has an eviscerate. Now, these are both on autocast, so you can do quite a lot of damage with these. And they have tank unit as well, which makes them more durable. Fury Mage, one of the upper tier units. This thing has corruption, deals 15 damage per second for 10 seconds. Doesn't sound like a great deal, but sends a Shadow Ball at the enemy, causing 30 damage with Shadow Ball. But if the target is not hero and has corruption, it is doubled. So this is actually very nice. And they also have Sacrificial Pact to get mana back. So if you are going for a very caster-based army, it's quite beneficial to have that ability as well. Their standard attacks are a little lackluster, but their main damage is actually quite high from their Shadow Balls. Another high tier unit is the Netherwing Drake. These things do nice damage to both air and ground at a range of 8, and they also have a flame effect, which adds 5 damage per second and slows movement speed by 30% for the 5 seconds as well, so they are very hard to escape from. Moving on over, demons. We have a Fel Hunter. These things have got a lot more health than they used to have, and I actually think they have a decent amount of armour too. So these things are a lot stronger than they used to be. They also do quite respectable damage, and are great little things. They have Mana Burn. Now this is fantastic for mana draining an entire enemy team. If you see, for example, Alliance, they always have loads of healers and priests. Get these guys, rush them in because they move very fast. They're like Zerglings because they've got the upgrade from attack speed and movement speed. Get these guys rushing in there and they can mana drain the entire healer team and then just annihilate everybody. Next demon, we have a Succubus. She has a good amount of damage also, and her armour is also quite respectable. Her abilities are Whiplash. This happens actually, I think it's a range of 4, is it? 3.5, and I think that is the range of this as well. And it instantly knocks back the target. So if anyone's in melee range of her, she can use Whiplash, knock them away, and then carry on doing her ranged attacks. So she's quite cool. And she also has Seduction, which is a 3-second stun. Fel Guard. So these things are starting to get a bit meaty. These guys come from the Dark Portal also. They do a good amount of damage. I think they have a good amount of armour. 1,000 health. They have Charge. Heroism Strike to do a little knockdown and some damage. And tank unit passives. Void Walkers. Now these guys have got tons of health and tons of armour. These are your main tanky kind of frontline units in order to soak up lots of damage. Speaking of damage, they also do a decent amount. They also have Taunt. How good is that? They actually force enemies to attack them rather than your squishy little Succubi, Fel Hunters and Shadowblades. So these guys are fantastic units. Higher Dark Portals allow you to get a Fel Beast. Loads of armour, loads of health, decent damage. Also has an Immolation Aura every 3 seconds. Deals 30 damage to all enemy ground units within 2 yards. It is an elite unit. It is immune to shock, knockdown, stun, fear, crowd control. This guy doesn't give 2 shits. Very good unit. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Heroism Strikes. Them things that give honour. They apply both the Chaos Grunt and the Fel Guard. So every time this ability is used, which has a 15-second cooldown, it adds 1 level of honour to that unit. Upon reaching 10 levels of honour, the unit is upgraded automatically, which is what this grayed out little thing over here is. And they get turned into a different unit. They get turned into one of these things. So, the Chaos Grunts turn into Blood Guards. These things have 1,000 health. They are also elite. They don't care about crowd control. They get Crazed Berserker. Every attack makes them stronger. Attack speed goes up, it lasts 5 seconds, and it can stack up to 5 times. So they could get 50% increased attack speed to do their damage, which is displayed on the tooltip there. Same goes for the Wrathguard. These guys get loads of health, loads of armour. Their damage goes up to 70 and versus medium 105. They don't get attack speed bonuses, but they get a new ability, which is Fellstorm, and they can spin around like crazy bladestorming little fools for 6 seconds, doing 20 weapon damage per second. Great units. The Burning Legion are very cool indeed. But there seems to be something missing, does there not? Yes, indeed. We have an elite unit here, we have an elite unit here. There is usually 3 elite units per race, and what do we get for the third? We get a fucking Fel Reaver. This guy is awesome. You can only have one on the field at any given time. He does 100 damage versus medium, 150 versus fortified plus 500. This guy is a building destroying machine. He has 10 armor, 2000 health. He doesn't care about crowd control, and then he has the most insane ability ever, Overclock, which makes his attack speed and movement speed go up by 100%. This lasts for 15 seconds until that duration is up. He will be an unstoppable monster. When that duration is, however, finished, he unfortunately dies. So you can see his movement speed, it's just friggin' mental as he just storms around the map. And his attack speed goes up to 1, is it? -1? I don't even know. But after that duration, down he goes. And that might actually put me into low upkeep. Upkeep, I have figured out during much testing, seems to occur at 45 to go into low upkeep and 70 at high upkeep. What upkeep does is it affects your harvest rate. Usually you get 5 gold per harvest or whatever, and this goes down by 70% and 50% or something. I've not actually figured it out yet, but it affects the rate at which you gather minerals. So that is upkeep. And just to flesh the race out, I've got a couple of heroes here. I have a Pit Lord, an Eredar, and a Dreadlord. So that is the Burning Legion. Very cool race. I'm quite fond of them. And maybe you can be too, as you check them out in WAH. Search online in the Starcraft 2 arcade to find it. WAH 2.0 can be found on Europe, and until the map making contest is over, it'll be available in America and various other places in the world also. So that's me done for this video. Coming up next is the Scourge. So thanks for watching and goodbye.